everyone. Welcome back to RTS and welcome back to Paper Pad Party. Yes, what we're going to do today is we are simply going to play and talk about paper pads because I got asked if I could show how, why, and when do I tear down a paper pad and add it into my other paper categories. Now, I will have a video listed below that talks about different paper categories I have in my space and basically what are the categories, and I'll have that listed below, so you can definitely watch that. But this is just about paper pads, and then of course I've shared this a million times, but I will say this again because I have a lot of new subscribers, so thank you, is that I have my paper pads organized and basically a little bit of a catalog, and it's just I snap a photo, I put 2 photos on a 4x6, punch a hole, put it on a jump ring, and I give them a number, and then I number my paper pad the same number, and then it's just like a little vending machine, a little catalog of my paper pads, because I have quite the collection of paper pads. Now this is just 12 by 12 paper pads, but this is also could be done the same way with 6x6, 8x8, 8.5 by 11, and 6x8, and all those fun sizes that are starting to appear. So that's fun. I don't have my 6x6 done that way, but I will have a video listed below how I did organize my 6x6 paper pads. Yes, there's a lot of those puppies too, but I love paper pads, and that is what I'm in the mood to play with this summer is my paper pads and my kits. And I don't know if it's because, you know, in the summer, I have to do faster scrapping because I don't get the time to play with tools and techniques. So that's probably why. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to talk about paper pads. And I love when people show paper pads because I just grab a cup of tea or an iced tea and I sit there and enjoy the paper right along. So I have a couple that's coming into my inventory, some that I got with my Tuesday morning gift card, so thanks to my hubby for that. And so I will talk about those. So the first thing is I have a couple of paper pads that I'm going to show you that are not going to remain paper pads. I don't even give them a number. I don't take a photo of them. I don't inventory them. It's just that when they come into my space, I tear them down and they go in a paper category. So I'm going to talk about that. And then I have a sneak peek of something you may see over the summer. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, the paper pad I'm going to tear down, which is this navy florals. And why am I going to tear it down and how? And so I got some of my lovely subscribers. A few of them have been asking me about paper pads and could I show this, and so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so up first is a paper pad. I was going to say Cartabella, but the paper pad says Echo Park, but the original collection, The Great Outdoors, was by Cartabella. I know because this is a Stephen Duncan line, okay? But the paper pad is basically distributed under the Echo Park line because it is the Echo Park paper weight, not the textured heavyweight by Cartabella. So that's why it says Echo Park here. But originally, The Great Outdoors is a Cartabella collection, and trust me, I have it because it's beautiful. Okay, so this paper pad came in at $7, which is an awesome deal for 24 single-sided papers. Now it says heavyweight. Yeah, maybe. I'm not gonna, it's not Cartabella heavy, okay? But it's nice. It's not wimpy. It's nice. But then it's Echo Park. It has to be nice. Okay, so let's talk about something that there are supplies showing up in Tuesday morning with the 2019 date. And Echo Park is one of them. And My Mind's Eye, and there's another one. So I do not know, and I will definitely ask Madison, because this Cartabella collection was not released in 2019. This was a couple years ago. So I don't know if this is being reran into a paper form, on Echo Park paper and distributed that way for just discount stores. I don't know how that's working, but I will ask Madison. Maybe he can share that with me how they're doing it. Okay, so what I did is I have this 6x6 paper pad, and there's only 24 pieces of paper in this. And I don't need to keep this as a paper pad because I already have this collection. So this collection will go in my paper category called Outdoor. So what I did is that I simply ripped every one of these sheets out of this pad. Okay? And I got something to talk about that too. Ugh. Something that frustrates me about paper pads. Okay. And so you can see this is the way it comes. Okay? And you can see it has a hole on the top of here. Okay, now why is there a hole on the top of this? Because the way this is marketed in a store is that most times they would hang on a pegboard type of system. So that's why the hole's there. Okay, however, when you trim off this 12 inches, guess what? You're still going to get a snippet of that hole. So now I'm wondering, is this why these type of pads are showing up in Tuesday morning? Because if you were to cut 12 inches from here to here, yeah, there's a little bit of a mistake there. So I don't know. I just can't answer that because this hole goes into the 12-inch, the 12 by 12 paper design. So that could be a reason why they are at Tuesday morning, because there's a little bit of a flaw there. So just know that when you cut this, this branding strip off, well, I'm not even going to call it a branding strip. I'm going to call it a marketing piece here, how the paper was run. This hole is going to interfere and you're not going to get 12 by 12 inches. It's not a really big deal for some of us, but if you're using a 12 by 12 to make a traveler's notebook or a mini album, that little hole will show up. So just, you know, that's just a little tidbit. Okay, so I would cut all the strip off. I don't want that. I don't want to see it. And so you can see for this whole paper pad, that's what I did. Okay, and you can see every one of them, and I'll pull this a little closer. You see that divot? That divot is in every one of those pieces of paper because of that little flaw. But for $7, beggars can't be choosers. No, you really can't. Okay, but now if I was paying 99 cents a sheet for this, that wouldn't go well with me. Okay, so maybe it's just a bad run. You know, I don't know. But as I was saying, I cut this strip off every one of them, and then all of these papers, they're not going to be in any order, no nothing. They're just going to be put in the other section of my Cartabella collection. But if I didn't have that Cartabella collection, it would just, all of these would have went in my outdoor paper category, because I absolutely have a paper category listed as outdoor. And again, that video will be linked below. Okay, so that is a paper pad that I just ripped apart. And I cut off this white strip, and they will just go as in single sheets because the back is all white. Okay, and it didn't matter if there was designs on the back of the back or not. I don't need this in paper pad form. I just want this in a paper category. Okay, so sometimes when you're dealing with a paper pad, I would say that would be the deciding factor. Do you want it to stay as a pad in pad form as a collection, or do you want to start playing with it and put it in other areas in your space? And the answer is what you want. There's no wrong way to do this. I just know for me, if I think of this Cartabella line, even though this is an Echo Park paper pad, I'm going to go to my outdoor paper category, and that's where I want it. Or, you know, camping. I have camping, outdoor, sportsman. I have all that labeled as outdoor. Okay? And again, that's how I would do that. Okay, so that is that. Beautiful, beautiful for $7. I was excited. I was really excited. Yes, I got this in South Carolina, so that makes me love it even more because we love South Carolina. Okay, so now the next paper pad, and this is the back of these paper pads. So these backers can really make great dividers in your space and your other paper categories. So definitely keep these cardboard pieces. And if you don't like them, then find someone else to give these to, because a lot of people use these. Okay, not just crafters, but other people use them too. Okay, so the next one is another Echo Park paper pad. But again, this was a Cartabella line to begin with. And again, $7, 24 sheets. It says 2019, but this came out like 4 or 5 years ago. Ahoy there. Okay, now this again is not Cartabella paper. So it is what it is. It's not, you know, single-sided. It says heavyweight. You look at the bend test. That's a medium weight, maybe. Medium to heavy. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so again, same problem. Okay, you cut off that white strip. You see, I don't know if you can see, maybe you can. If I flip this over, you look up here, that little divot eats into that 12 by 12 image. So that's just what you have. Again, we're going to ask Madison how that works, okay? You know, get some inside scoop. So again, this is a paper pad. And it definitely has a theme. It's ahoy there. This is Nautical for me, so I don't need it in a paper pad form. Okay, because I already have this Cartabella collection. And why did I buy these papers? Don't ask me why. I don't know. I already have them in Cartabella in the textured and heavyweight. Why did I need them again? I don't know. I just love them. I love these Cartabella collections. I love the designs, and these are both the Great Outdoors and Ahoy there. These are collections or paper designs that I use a lot. So I guess that's why I just liked them. I guess I'm just sitting here trying to think of an excuse, but we don't need excuse when it comes to paper. No, we do not. Absolutely. Okay. So again, I will simply, and I ripped every one from the pad. I cut off that white strip, and all of these will go within my other Cartabella collection. Or I will just throw it in Nautical because, you know, if I get a chance to play with Cartabella texture or not Cartabella texture, I'll play with the Cartabella texture. But this is fun. I mean, for $7, you can't complain. You really can't. Okay. And again, there's that backer. I keep all of those, or I give them to my sister every once in a while. They make great dividers. Okay. So that, again, is another paper pad, but I'm not keeping it in paper pad. I am ripping it apart, tearing it down, and putting it in a paper category. This is going into Nautical, okay? So then the next one is a sneak peek of something you will be coming up. This is a paper pad again. This was a Cartabella line, okay? It's beautiful. This wood grain, oh yeah, that's a beautiful, and a Cartabella heavyweight textured. Again, Echo Park. But I wanted to show this because you will see this collection coming up in the future. And all I'm going to say is 4 for 4. That's all I'm going to say. So you will see this. That's a sneak peek. You will see this coming up in the future. Okay, so now let's talk about to the meat of the video. And this is this Navy Florals paper pad. Again, another one from Tuesday morning coming in at $7. There is 36 sheets. And it's a cardstock, gold foil, lovely die cuts with a view. Okay, so... And it's interesting to know that Die Cuts with a View is now under the American Crafts umbrella. Interesting. And I tell you what, sometimes we look at paper pads and we just look down here, but there's so much inspiration as to what the designers really did with these papers. I really like taking the time to look for that. So this is a paper pad that is really nice, but I don't need it in a paper pad form. So that was the question I got, is... the how, the why, and the when. Okay, so the how is it's a paper pad. I don't need it in a paper pad, and why? Because I will not use these papers together as a paper pad collection. Okay, so how I determined what that is because when I look at these papers, would I want to use these together? Not really, because these papers are nice, but they're nothing, they're not like Cartabella, you know, they're just not, I'm not in love with these papers, but I still like them, okay? And so I will definitely tear all of these from the paper pad, every one of these, and I do it all the same way. And I decide to tear down a paper pad is that when I look at the papers more individually than I do them as a whole, okay? And so when I'm looking at these papers, and believe me, I've already looked through this paper pad probably 10 times, maybe a dozen times, just loving and looking at the papers. And I can already tell you that I'm looking at more of the B sides than I'm doing the A sides, okay? So I already know that... if you like a lot more of the B, you might as well go ahead and tear them out and then separate them. And so then I'm seeing that I like them as a category, not as a navy floral paper pad. Meaning, this would look good in my floral paper category. This would look good in my specialty. Okay, this would look good in my orange or my navy, whichever one I pick. And then this would go in pink. Okay, because some of these I just don't care for. Or some I like better than the other. This would go in floral, okay, and one would go in pink, okay. So I am not saying, okay, I see this paper and I want to use it with this paper, and then I want to use it with this paper. I'm seeing these as individual papers, and that's just what my brain's telling me because I know my own style. So when you're looking at a paper pad and you say, here's what I think. If you're not excited to use it together, then go ahead and tear it down and break it up. You'll get more use of it that way. That's how I think of it, and I will tell you that is basically the truth. Sometimes when you have papers in a pad, simply by taking them out of a pad form, you seem to use them quicker. And I think the reason is because you've already told yourself you're cutting into that paper pad. You're already breaking into that paper pad, okay? Now, these cut aparts do nothing for me. They're cute, they're pretty, they do nothing for me. I would much rather have this watercolor type of background in my blue. So what I will do, and I'll just keep on sitting here chatting. I have my tea here, because I got asked to show how I tear down a paper pad and when do I do it. I already told you the why. And again, if you see these papers in your scrap process, well, I would use this blue, but I would probably pull something else from my stash. I would say do it, yes. Because these papers are all nice and lovely, but using them together as a collection or a paper pad, that doesn't excite me. You know, it just doesn't excite me. So, also, too, if you're working on a paper pad and it's getting kind of thin and wimpy and you don't have a lot left, who says you have to keep it in a paper pad all the time until they're all done? I say tear it down, disassemble it, put it among other papers, disperse them in other collections or kits that you're building. Perfect solution. And then also what I will do is that you see this hole up here that's the hanging part for the paper pad, as I will go ahead and cut each one of these off. Okay, and I'll throw it away because I don't want this in, when I organize my paper, I don't want that hole on top. I might as well just cut it now and be done with it. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to tear down this paper pad, and then I'm going to show you how I separate it out, okay? Now, I will not show me cutting all those little holes off because no one wants to see all that. But that's what I would do right after this step right here, okay? And I have no problem disassembling. I have no problem purging. I have no problem getting rid of things. And I have no problem tearing things apart to have a better use of that supply. Whatever it would be, a die cut pack, brad pack, paper pad, no worries, okay? And so then I will talk to you about, in this paper pad, there's 2 of everything. So we'll talk about that, how you can get the most bang out of your buck tearing down a paper pad, okay? And there have been times where I have, Heidi Swap was one of them, that I bought 2 of that paper pad. So one I kept as a paper pad form, and then the other one I just tore up exactly in the same process, and I dispersed it among my other loose papers just simply by color. Simple Stories, I did that. A Paper Studio, the Petals and Blooms, I've bought that paper pad more times than I want to admit. And one I kept together as a pad, and the other one I just tore down and put some in floral, put some in black, put some in white. Yes, okay, so I'm almost done here. Okay. So we're just having a little bit of tea time, a little paper pad party time. I hope someone brought some chips. Yes, I could eat a cracker or a chip about right now. Okay, so again, these cut parts, they do nothing for me. But the blue, oh yeah, this blue's a real, I'm going to call it a periwinkle blue. I'm not sure, or maybe a royal blue. Anyways, that's really showing up in a lot of new collections this spring. Okay, so this front and this back, let me get these here in a pile. Okay, the front, sometimes you can absolutely cut off this part and take some punches, and you can use this. Now, sometimes I don't like this glossy type of finish, so I would just throw that all away. But sometimes, especially if you get some foil on there that turns, you know, you can make little embellishments, okay? You could take a little punch. I should have had one, but you could just take a punch and just punch a little heart or a butterfly from each one of these paper samples, okay? I may still do that. I don't know. Sometimes that sheen on those papers don't really do anything for me. Okay, so that's file 13. So then what I would do after I would have cut all of these, okay, I would cut those. So then what I do next is then I look at each paper in and of itself and I say, how will I use that, okay? Well, I already know one's going in pink, okay, because that's there's the A and there's the B. And I was just telling Sharon that I'm having trouble using flowers with a black background. And so I may go ahead and stick this in floral, like a paper category of floral, because this would be a good page starter, you know, for layout, or even a kit. I'm thinking. So if I don't know, don't go. Okay, so I'm going to put one in floral, one in pink. Okay. So then up next is that I have cut aparts. I am so oversaturated with cut aparts. I do not want any more in my space. Even though some of this has gold foil, I'm going to put that in blue. Okay, so I'm already going to have a rainbow section going on. Okay, but as I said, I would have cut the top off of that. I would have cut these down to 12 by 12. Okay, I think I might add this into some Happy Mail. I think I may do that because that's okay. Yes, I'm going to gift that to somebody. I have some Happy Mail going out. Okay, so the next one is this blue right here. Okay, what's on the back? Blue. Okay, so this is definitely going into the blue. Okay, that's not going into floral. That's going into blue because it's all blue. We have another floral. Where would I put that? Okay, there's the back. I have so much black and white dot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one in my floral paper category and one's going into pink. Okay? So that's why I have that piece of paper in 2 spaces. So that means I would see it twice. How would I say that? I would see it 2 times faster. Yes, if you separate paper out. Okay? Now this is gold foil and that's blue. That's nothing... I'd much rather have the gold foil than that blue. So now this is going into my specialty group. So I will put that. Now we have foil. Now we have floral. And now we have my rainbow here on the right. Okay. And I will just keep going because I got asked to show this. Okay. So now we have orange and that blue. Okay. So then I could put one in both. Or if there's one I just don't care for, I think I will put one in orange and one in blue. I don't know, that orange is okay. Looks like a dreamsicle, doesn't it? Okay, so pink, red, orange. Okay, I'm just putting them all in rainbow color. What do we have next? Okay, so we have this pink ombre and this navy floral. Let's see. I have a lot of pink, but that's, okay, I'm just going to put one in each. Call it good. And you can see that this isn't something I spent a lot of time doing. But I will tell you, I've already looked at these papers many times because I just love getting out a paper pad and sitting down. Okay, now there's a pink, but I have more pink in my stash than I do blue. And I already have this one. So I'm going to put those both in navy. Okay? And again, that decision would be a personal decision because you would know. Do you have more pink or do you have more navy? Do you use orange or do you use pink? Okay? That's how you can determine where to put it. Put it where you're going to use it. Okay? Now, I would say of the whole paper pad, this was the prettiest. Okay? So I'm definitely going to put both of these in floral only because it's foil. Okay, if this wasn't foil, I'd just put it in pink. But yeah, I'm putting that both in floral. Okay, because I could see me grabbing it in that category. So you see, there's no rhyme or reason. Okay, those are both going in to the blue because that is ho-hum. This is really pretty. Okay, this was a pretty paper pad. Okay, so now we have gold foil again in script. Okay, that does nothing for me. Those are going into specialty. Okay, so basically I'm really only down to floral, specialty, and then my rainbow. Okay, and then here's a floral. Okay, now here is the B side. And where would I put those? Well, I already know where I'm putting those. Okay, but I wanted to bring up a point too. When you're tearing down a paper pad and you think, oh, well, some of these look pretty together. There's nothing wrong with taking a small group of papers. Say I could take this blue floral. I could take the back of this and then I could pick out another one. Okay, maybe I could pick out this gold script foil and I could put these together as a page kit. Okay, so you can do that too when you're tearing down a paper pad. You can go ahead and make some individual page kits, whether they're single page kits or double page kits, or you just want to take a group of papers and put them together. I have done that too when I've done tore down a paper pad. I have separated some out, and then I've also put some together as paper, as page kits. Okay, and that's all I would simply do, just paper page kits. I wouldn't add anything else to it. But I will tell you, in my space, I have a lot of kits right now, and I don't know if I would ever thought I would say this, but I'm a little kitted out. Yes, I've been playing with a lot of kits, but this floral is a nice floral, but I like this pink better. Okay, so I go with what I love, And I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it, okay? That orange is okay. That blue is prettier, okay? So even though I have 2 of them, you say, well, you could put one in blue, one in orange. I don't care for that. I do like that. So I will put those both in blue, not even think twice. Okay, we're getting near to the bottom of this paper pad. And those are okay, but that is much nicer. They're going both in. See what I'm saying? You can take this right here, and this, and you can make a page kit with that, okay? There's no wrong way to do it. No. Okay. Now, here's another floral, and it's blue. Oh, but now, see, that's nicer. I like that better, so that's where it's going. I only had a couple orange there. Okay? And then we have a gold foil. And it's really hard to use the B side of a paper when you know you have foil on the front, because in most cases foil is more expensive. So that's going into foil, a specialty. We have another floral, and what's the back of that? What is that? Is that a black? Ooh, I don't know. That's hard to say. What is that? It doesn't look navy. Well, that's okay. So I would think I'm just going to stick those both in pink. I mean, it's floral, but it's not a really, I don't love it as a floral, but it's a pretty pink, okay? And so then we have more cut aparts, and those are going in blue. Okay, so not hard to do, okay? And so these are all by Rainbow. So you see I have pink, orange, blue, and I think that's all it turned out being. Yes, pink, orange, and blue. Okay, and I would take the pink, put it in with my pink, rainbow single sheets, orange goes in my orange single sheets, and then the blue. And then, of course, with my floral here, there's only, what, 4 of them? Yes. They will go in my floral paper category section. And then my foil, they're going to go in with my specialty. Now, with my specialty, I do have that by color. So this would all go into gold. And I'm thinking this is gold and black. Gold and blue. I'd have to put that under the sunlight, but this will just be put in my gold specialty. So that is my process on how I took this Die Cuts with a View 12 by 12 paper pad in this beautiful navy florals, and how I tore it down into a manner that is better suited for my style. So I would not use that paper pad together when I would do some pages, but I would use these florals, I would use these specialty, and then also to these rainbow colors. I would use them quicker in those categories than I would together as a paper pad. And so that is how you can determine whether to tear down a paper pad. And then also too, as I was tearing that down, I also am going to gift somebody one of those cut apart sheets and some Happy Mail. So it's just another fun way to start playing with this paper pad. Even though I just tore it down, it basically is I'm already playing with this paper pad and I just got it. So that's fun. So how you can tell if you want to tear down a paper pad is, first of all, if it doesn't excite you, either purge it or just tear it down and then look at the papers individually and say, where do I want to go for that paper? Where would I think to go for that paper? And where, in what category would you use that paper? Because I will tell you, I would see these florals quicker in this floral category and these papers in the rainbow and the specialty rather than in that paper pad. Okay, now there's nothing wrong if you're not sure, leave it in the paper pad sense, but if you see a paper pad, and I go through my paper pads on a regular basis, yes, I really do, because I would tell you, when I have a nervous energy, I will either look at people building kits, or I'll go build a kit, or I will pull out a chunk of paper pads, and you can ask my hubby because he sees me do it all the time, and I will just sit on the floor with a cup of tea and I will go through paper pads. It just calms my nerves. I think it's because I think of stories, I think of layouts, and then just looking at color combinations, it just makes me happy, and it takes me to my happy place. Absolutely. So if a paper pad is not exciting, tear it down and maybe put it into categories in which it does excite you, or simply purge, simply gift, and some Happy Mail. Maybe think of some layouts and put a couple pieces of paper together in a page kit and do it that way too. So there's no wrong way to do a paper pad. You can leave it as a whole, tear it down, start playing with it, or sometimes what I've done with a paper pad is that you can see in those Echo Park Cartabella paper pads. I just ripped them apart as a paper pad. I don't want them in a pad form. I just want them in my paper categories. And then again, that paper category video will be listed below. And then if I didn't know, and I was like, well, I kind of want it as a paper pad, but I really kind of want some of these individual. There's nothing wrong with taking a paper pad and dividing it in half, and half stays in the paper pad, and half gets separated into colors and groups and categories. So you can do that, because I've done that too. So there's no wrong way with these paper pads except one way, and that would be not to play with them. Yes, do not buy paper pads and just let them sit there. No, play with them. Have fun with them. Create with them. Record the story. Yes, because that's what we're going to do over the summer with our paper pads and our paper pad party. And I will tell you, we have a couple series, just 2 for sure, over the summer, and they will both be with paper pads. Yes, absolutely. So that is how I tear down a paper pad, my thought process about tearing down a paper pad, how, the why, and the where, and the why, and all of that good stuff. So that is what I have for today. If you have any questions about tearing down a paper pad, or if you have a different thought process about when and how you tear down a paper pad, please share below, because I always love reading how people do their process. Absolutely. So that's all I have for today at RTS. So come back, because you never know what we're going to do. Bye.